politics, some local business, some sports. This is the Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia version of the 2025 newspaper, the I Love CVille show. Live on I Love CVille Facebook, Judah. Live on Twitter now, Judah. Viewers and listeners, if you have content that you think we should talk about on the show, send it our way. Send it our way if you have content that you think we should talk about on the show. We want to be the water cooler of conversation. That does not mean we want to be the originator of the conversation. I'll ask Judah in a matter of moments which headline most intrigues him and why. We're slowly getting the channels up and running, J-Dubs. We are now live on my personal Facebook, Judah. Retweet the show, like the show, hammer the like button for us. We work hard for you. The only thing we ask in return is that you help us spread the gospel. Monday is a busy day for the show. There's always news that accumulates over the weekend. How about the church goer on Sunday, Judah?
That was terrible, but by grace, nobody was seriously injured.
Yeah. Well said. The church goers wrangled and corralled and tackled the violent church goer. Did you read the story?
Yeah.
Absolutely bananas. In church now? What the heck's going on here, J-Dubs? I mean, what is going on here? Which headline most intrigues you, Judah?
Well, it's nice to see some new businesses opening up, like Dirty Aces. Not that I think it'll be one of my go-to spots anytime soon, but
they've offered insight on what to expect.
That's cool.
I'm willing to support them.
Pure Seafood, another place opening up. Not a whole lot of seafood spots in the area. Could be interesting.
Yeah. We are live. Are we live on LinkedIn? I'll confirm right here. I think we're about to be live on LinkedIn. We are live on LinkedIn. We can get the show rocking and rolling when you're ready, Judah.
Quiet on the set.
Make sure you have your two-shot ready to go. Good Monday afternoon, guys. I'm Jerry Miller. Thank you kindly for joining us on the I Love CVille show. Great to connect with you through the I Love CVille network in our building, the Macklin Building in downtown Charlottesville. A lot to cover on the program. We have an unfortunate, crazed churchgoer assaulting other, are they church patrons? What are they? What's a synonym for churchgoer?
Congregant.
Congregant, okay, there we go. Well said. Judah Wickower, congregant. On Sunday morning at St. Paul's Memorial Church, a man stands up during the church service amongst other congregants, gets out of the pew and starts attacking people at 1701 University Avenue. Goodness gracious. In church now? A lot we're going to cover on the program, including this incident on Sunday that put a scare into a lot of people, but fortunately, other churchgoers and congregants attacked the man, subdued him until police came. It looks like we're no longer live on my Facebook page, Judah.
All right.
If you can reconnect that. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about Trump reversing course on holding money against Charlottesville City and Albemarle County schools. We'll talk about that today. Dirty Aces has provided some insight on what folks can expect for their business in the old Mooses by the Creek location. Dirty Aces, of course, a little bit of shock. Maybe this is fantastic branding. Maybe it's a tremendous marketing plan, having signage on the front of the business that has bikini-clad women in their sign, getting all of us talking. I mean, maybe it's genius marketing. They have now offered insight into what the paying public can expect with Dirty Aces Bar and Grill. I will pass that along to you, the viewer and listener, today on the I Love CVille show. We're going to talk tampering in Virginia Tech today. Goodness gracious. And are we live on YouTube, J-Dubs?
Yes.
Okay. The Virginia Tech Hokies, and a story that broke over the weekend on ESPN, tampering. The Hokies last season, sent an assistant coach to North Carolina Central. During a game, a Virginia Tech assistant coach somehow got on the sidelines during a North Carolina Central football game and was literally trying to recruit a North Carolina Central football player, a star running back, while he was playing football for North Carolina Central, recruiting a player during the game. Never seen anything like it before. We'll talk about that on today's show. We'll talk another new restaurant, Piers Seafood and Grill on Seminole Trail. My wife sent me information on this, and Judah Wickhauer has photography from this. So two people that I trust, my wife and Judah, both highlight Piers. Is it Piers, you would say, Judah? Piers?
Yeah.
Piers Seafood and a soft opening. And speaking of openings, Home Depot, we talked about it last week, has now been delayed with its opening. I think that's now set for August, J-Dubs.
Yeah, I saw something about that.
One of the most anticipated openings, Home Depot, not just a home improvement store, folks. This is now one of Albemarle County's most important developers. We'll talk about that on today's show. And we'll also highlight the discussion from Friday that I got significant feedback. A couple of dozen viewers and listeners reached out to us post-show and wanted to discuss the economic impact of this zoning purgatory in the city, where one Charlottesville insider, one stakeholder in the development community, characterized the zoning purgatory or the zoning quicksand as having a nearly $400 million impact on his firm. We asked the question, Neil Williamson in a comment on Friday also is wondering the same, if the totality of this zoning purgatory or zoning quicksand is more than $1 billion of economic impact on the city, and perhaps beyond, folks. That was much of the commentary that was offered, that the zoning purgatory is not just an economic impact on the city, but much of Central Virginia, as the workers, especially the blue-collar variety that work in housing and development and building and construction, are not just living in the city, but they're living in the surrounding jurisdiction. So I want to talk about that today. A lot we're going to cover on the program. We saw John Vermillion today, Judah. Mm-hmm. We saw Andrew Vermillion at Charlottesville Sanitary Supply. Let's give them some love. On High Street, online at charlottesvillesanitarysupply.com. The Vermillions are 5 generations in Albemarle County. Their business is 3 generations strong and located on High Street in the city of Charlottesville. We were there this morning talking with John and Andrew, and boy, oh boy, was the business hopping. Goodness gracious. They were doing water testing for swimming pools. They were helping folks with their vacuum needs, as they have a mechanic on site that repairs vacuums. They were doing a ton of sanitary supply sales. They were doing a ton of chlorine and pool sales. My family, our swimming pool, is kept crystal clear blue thanks to the supplies, the know-how, and the chlorine, the ingredients at Charlottesville Sanitary Supply. John and Andrew Vermillion, A-plus people. I genuinely enjoy seeing John and Andrew. Support the businesses you want to see make it another 61 years, like Charlottesville Sanitary Supply has done so far, 61 years, by patronizing them in person, folks. Judah Wickhauer, two-shot. Studio camera and two-shot. I love the studio camera because I think it shows the depth and breadth of our studio, which has been cobbled together over years of doing this. Every quarter, we try to make the network or the studio a little bit better. And we try to stick to investing into the network every 90 days or so. Studio camera two-shot, Judah Wickhauer. Your weekend first most exciting thing that happened to you, or the item of news that most intrigued you the most over the weekend, if nothing exciting happened? Sometimes non-exciting weekends are also welcome weekends.
Yep. Was excited to find there's a new seafood place coming to town, Piers. Sadly, it was not quite open yet, so I didn't get to try it out, but I did get a picture of the facade, and the place is looking good. I hope it brings its A game and sticks around for a while.
Yeah. Do you have a photo you can put on screen?
Yep.
Is this a Judah Wickhauer picture?
Yeah.
Let's get that Judah Wickhauer picture of Piers Seafood and Grill. Where exactly is it located?
This is where Mavericks was, where most recently was occupied by
Plaza Azteca.
Plaza Azteca.
The Boathouse was there in
Yep.
years past.
Mm-hmm.
That's a massive restaurant.
Yeah.
An absolutely massive
Great
restaurant.
space.
Cajun boil, wings, pasta, shrimp, lobster, and more.
Yeah.
I respect anyone that's willing to open a business in this economic climate, and this political climate, and this ever-changing climate where the internet, third-party delivery, and frankly, folks new to the area are really radically changing how we support small business. Piers Seafood and Grill opening in the old Plaza Azteca location, the old Mavericks location, the old Boathouse location. I have first the positives, okay? Here are the positives. That location has a boatload of drive-by traffic.
Yeah.
That restaurant inside has a fantastic bar. Fantastic seating, fantastic ambiance inside,
Yeah.
fantastic parking on site.
No doubt.
Tens of thousands of cars drive by it every day. That's the most densely populated restaurant corridor in all of Central Virginia, 300,000 person market, Seminole Trail. The rent, now the not cons, but the things I question. Here are the things that I question. The rent at that particular restaurant is extremely expensive. It's an island pad, standalone restaurant. It's astronomically expensive. Before the owners can start paying themselves, they will have rent overhead and staff overhead because the restaurant is huge, so you're going to need a lot of staff. That is some of the highest in Central Virginia. I also wonder about the turnover at that location. I personally have been in this community 25 years this August. First arrived as a first year at the University of Virginia. Now a married man with 2 children, business owner. And in those 25 years, I've seen that location off the top of my head be the Boathouse, be Mavericks Steakhouse,
Yep.
Plaza Azteca. Viewers and listeners, what else was at that location of Mavericks, the Boathouse, Plaza Azteca? What else is there? It's now Piers Seafood and Grill.
Yeah.
Okay? I also have this question for you. Logan Wells Colelo, welcome to the broadcast. Here's the question I have for you, okay? Think about this. There are very few seafood specific, and make sure the lower third's on screen so the viewers and listeners know what we're talking about. There's very few seafood specific restaurants in this town, right?
Yeah.
What are the ones that you can think of seafood specific that are in this town? Public, Fish and Oyster.
Yep.
One of our favorite restaurants, our family. Daniel Kaufman, I hope you hear this. He knows I offer tremendous support for Public. We love the happy hour. We love the lobster rolls. We love the ambiance at Public. Seafood-specific restaurants in this town. How many can you name, viewers and listeners? Is there another one?
There is.
Red Crab is closed.
No, I know that. Barco. What is it? Morisco's El Barco.
On West Main Street.
Yep.
Is that seafood-specific?
They're pretty big.
Is that not Hispanic?
It is, but it's Hispanic seafood.
Okay. Would you characterize what you're always quick to remember the name of this restaurant? What is the name as you remember it?
Let me make sure I'm getting it right. Morisco's El Barco.
Okay. How did they describe themselves on the website?
Let's see. I mean, it's shows up on Google as a seafood restaurant. Get to the website, and
I would not think seafood first with that restaurant. Go ahead.
I mean, El Barco literally means the boat.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that one then. So perhaps you've come up with 2 in Charlottesville and Albemarle County. Philip Dow, welcome to the broadcast. Viewers and listeners, any other seafood-specific restaurants that you can think of? My point is this.
There are not many.
There's not many.
I know. My dad wanted seafood yesterday, and I'm going online.
Is there not many for a reason?
Because
Conan Owen watching the broadcast. He says Bonnie and Reed is seafood specific. Well done, Conan Owen.
Excellent.
The owner of Sir Speedy of Central Virginia. Let's give Sir Speedy some love. Sir Speedy of Central Virginia is owned by Conan Owen. He's the CEO and the founder of Sir Speedy of Central Virginia, the CEO and owner. He's a Darden graduate, UVA Darden graduate. He's a business development genius. If you need any printing needs, Sir Speedy of Central Virginia is who you call. They're located on Market Street, about, I don't know, half a mile from our studio here. If you have a logo, they can do something with it, graphic design or marketing-wise. Sir Speedy of Central Virginia. Bonnie and Reed is 3. So right now, viewers and listeners, we can think of 3 seafood-specific restaurants. Bonnie and Reed on the downtown mall, owned by the guy that Stefan Friedman, who owns Draft Tap Room, Ace Biscuit and Barbecue, Vitae Spirits, the sushi joint back behind Vitae Spirits. He owns Bonnie and Reed. He was one of the co-owners of Little John's. I had this conversation over the weekend. He is the owner of the Little John's Michael's Bistro building. When, Stefan Friedman, are you going to open Draft Tap Room? Judah misses it. I miss it. It's right around the corner from us.
Yep.
We have homeless men sleeping in your doorway.
Multiple
Homeless people sleeping in your doorway. Every time I walk by there, Stefan Friedman, can you open Draft Tap Room, please, respectfully? Why are there only 3 that we can think of, seafood-specific restaurants in Central Virginia?
Yeah, look up Charlottesville Seafood. You get Public Fish and Oyster, Morisco's El Barco, Crozet Seafood Supply, which...
Georgia Gilmer and Neil Williamson say Bonefish in the Hollymead Town Center.
Yep, there's Bonefish.
All right, there's 4. Thank you, Georgia and Neil Williamson.
And if you want to go to a chain.
Red Lobster? I'll throw Red Lobster in there.
What?
Well, you're saying Bonefish is a chain?
Yeah.
Is Red Lobster no longer open in Charlottesville City?
No.
Okay, because
that's the spot that...
that's the Home Depot spot, next to Home Depot. Because the Wickhowers probably would have gone to Red Lobster post-church on Sunday, right?
If they'd still been around, my dad would have beeline there for seafood.
Because he has an affinity for the cheesy biscuits, right?
No, I think he just likes seafood, and where else is there to go?
Neil Williamson, a little jab to me, and I appreciate you, Neil Williamson. I love when you jab me. He says, I know it's north of Jerry Miller's coverage territory, but Bonefish in the Hollymead Town Center. Neil, I appreciate that. Chuck Crenshaw says Pargos. I don't recall Pargos. Do you recall Pargos? Caitlin Mancini Lawton, congratulations on the newborn, Caitlin. Welcome to parenthood. The longest, shortest thing ever. The best, hardest thing ever. Parenthood. We have 2 ourselves. She says Anderson's Seafood, but that's not a restaurant. Anderson's is one of our clients.
Yep.
Ted Anderson. We do their branding, their website.
Yeah, it looks like Pargos was there.
Anderson's, as you highlighted in your comments, Caitlin, not a restaurant. It's a seafood market, if you may. They're located on Ivy Road, Anderson's. Ted Anderson and Susan Anderson are fabulous people. And if you notice, Tacos Gomez has now posted a truck on Ivy Road in the late Phil Wendell spot next to Anderson's, where the Gomez brothers, and the Gomez brothers are friends of mine, fantastic racket players. Fantastic athletes, played many matches of racquetball against the Gomez brothers, Kevin and Miguel. They have a truck now in the late Phil Wendell's dilapidated parking lot, the old Virginia Oil location. All right, so where's Pargos? I know the restaurant's seen like the Pope knows holy water, and I don't know Pargos.
Oh, no, I think they're mentioning it because it used to be in the same spot as...
Thank you, Chuck Crenshaw. Chuck Crenshaw says Pargos used to be in the same spot as the Boathouse, Mavericks, and Plaza Azteca.
Yeah.
So here are the concerns I have, and I'm just talking out loud, and I want every business to survive, and we're kind of hopping around. Vanessa Parkhill says Pargos, that was a long time ago. I'm talking out loud, okay? The viewers and listeners have highlighted with the location of Piers Seafood and Grill, and I want them to crush it. Pargos was there, the Boathouse was there, Mavericks was there, Plaza Azteca was there. There's a lot of turnover in that location. Item of concern number 1. Item of concern number 2, that is one of the largest restaurants in Charlottesville and Albemarle County and across Central Virginia, square feet wise. And when you have square feet in commercial, your rent is tied to the square feet that you use. So their rent is going to be one of the most expensive rents in Charlottesville and Albemarle County. I would bet you the rent at this specific location is on the level right below the rents at Barracks Road Shopping Center and the rents at Stonefield. I've highlighted that the most expensive rent in all of Charlottesville or Albemarle County is the old Ralph's Tap Room, the Island Pad Restaurant and Barracks Road Shopping Center. That's the most expensive rent, with the only one flirting with Ralph's in cost, maybe Travinia Kitchen in Stonefield. And if you haven't noticed, Travinia Kitchen in Stonefield, next to the movie theater, still has yet to open. Travinia Kitchen, one of the sexiest restaurants footprint-wise, outside fire pits, next to the movie theater, the sexy shopping center Stonefield, owned by the New York private equity firm O'Connell Capital Partners, still is vacant and has been vacant for years.
Yeah.
I'm not questioning Piers Seafood and Grill, their photo back on screen, opening in the Mavericks shopping center, the Mavericks location, Boathouse location, Plaza Stecca location. I am asking very basic questions. A, do we still sit down and eat inside restaurants at the same proclivity or frequency that we did before COVID? B, how are you going to make this space work with the overhead tied to a massive restaurant and rent tied to a restaurant this size? C, what are you going to do from a third-party delivery standpoint? Seafood does not travel with third-party delivery. Seafood does not travel with third-party delivery 45 minutes to an hour. Do you want to eat fried shrimp when it comes out? Yes. Do you want to eat fried shrimp when it's been in a styrofoam container in Christoph Schifflet's Oldsmobile and a 1-hour trip to your house from the restaurant after he's made 2 or 3 other stops and smoked a blunt in his El Camino before delivering it to your house? Perhaps not.
I think it depends how far out you live.
Do you want to eat fried shrimp after it's gone through Christoph Schifflet's El Camino and he's blunted all the food that's in his Camino before it got to your house? Or would you rather eat a cold sandwich or a cold salad?
If he's driving all the deliveries, then no. But I think you're exaggerating, maybe just a teensy-weensy bit.
For the sake of a talk show. Entertain, enlighten, and educate. Go ahead.
No, I wouldn't. There are a lot of things that I wouldn't want to get.
There's 4 seafood-specific restaurants in
want.
Charlottesville and Central Virginia that we can think of. There's 4.
Okay.
Right? Was it 4? We came up with Bonefish.
Give or take. I mean, you've got some outliers.
Was it Bonefish, Bonnie and Reed, El Barcos?
Mariscos El Barcos.
Mariscos El Barcos. What was the 4th?
The 4th was... what was the 4th? Did you say Public?
Public, Bonefish, Marisco El Barcos. You literally just said this 10 seconds ago.
Bonnie and Reed.
We just said that. Are you...
That's
Bonnie
4,
and Reed.
right?
Bonnie and Reed.
How many do you want?
Bonnie and Reed, Bonefish,
Yeah.
Mariscos El Barcos, and Public.
How many do you want?
Okay, is that the 4? Those are the 4? Okay. There's 4 in all of Central Virginia that we can think of.
And then there's some outliers.
Like what?
Like people that serve, like, what, there's the 2 French restaurants.
Fleury and Petit Pois?
Yeah.
That have a seafood dish on their menu?
They've got more than one seafood
I wouldn't
dish.
say those are seafood-specific restaurants.
They're not seafood specific. That's why I said they're outliers.
Every restaurant in Charlottesville, Albemarle County, or Central Virginia has a seafood dish on their menu.
Okay.
You know, fish, crab.
All right.
Everyone has a seafood. Anyway, those are the questions that I have right there. Caitlin Mancini, hopefully the new pedestrian walkway will drive traffic over Route 29 and help Piers thrive. I agree. I hope so too.
No doubt.
I hope so too. Georgia Gilmer, Outback's Seafood Boil didn't make it here. Right. There's multiple Seafood Boil restaurants that did not make it here. I think they were takeout only. May have started with a brick and mortar. Philip Dow says Red Lobster didn't make it here.
Red Lobster made it here for a very long time. That's a little disingenuous.
Jen Thompson says Cheeseburger in Paradise used to be in that location as well. I forgot about that. I patronize Cheeseburger in Paradise all the time. Mark Hurley owned that location, Cheeseburger in Paradise. Thank you, Jen Thompson. You're making the program better. That's another restaurant. Pargo's, Cheeseburger in Paradise, Mavericks, Plaza Azteca, and the Boathouse. 5 off the top of our head.
Yeah, I'm sure there were more.
And that's just off the top of our head in the last 25 years. We wish them the best. A perfect segue into Dirty Aces Bar and Grill. If you could put that lower third on screen. Do you have the Dirty Aces signage that you can put on screen from last week?
I think so.
Dirty Aces, if you missed last week's show, shame on you. Don't miss the I Love CVille show. All the traditional media is watching our program and taking content from our show for the legacy media cycles. It's just a fact. I see them watching. Okay? We want you to watch the show. It's 12:30 to 1:30 Monday through Friday. We try to be the water cooler of conversation in Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia. When you get the Dirty Aces signage, give me a thumbs up so I can tell the viewers and listeners to look on screen. There's a new location, a new restaurant opening in the old Moose's by the Creek spot. And speaking of Phil Wendell, look at the screen, look at the screen, look at the screen. Here's the signage of the business that's opening in the old Moose's location. It's not every day in the Bible Belt. Is Charlottesville the Bible Belt? Is Albemarle County and Charlottesville the Bible Belt?
I don't know. I don't know if I'd say that it is.
Can I say this is the Bible Belt, viewers and listeners?
We're close, but
It's certainly not the Bible Belt, goodness gracious, at 1701 University Avenue. At 1701 University Avenue at St. Paul's Memorial Church on a Sunday morning when Philip Salke got up from his pew as the collection plate was being passed around as the church was trying to raise some money for its mission in South America. And Philip Salkoe gets up and starts attacking churchgoers. A couple of deacons and the choir director had to sprint and go after Philip and put him in a rear naked choke and hold him there until the police arrived while we were singing O Come, O Ye Faithful to Bethlehem.
Christmas songs in July. Wow.
Oh, no. What's a song that we could be singing in July? I grew up Southern Baptist, was raised in a Jewish neighborhood, and educated in a Catholic school. What is a hymn that we would be singing in July?
I don't know that there are any July-specific
What is a hymn? What's a song that we would be singing in church?
You just want any song that you would sing in church?
You're overthinking it. Throw a song for the sake of a talk show that we would be singing in church.
I guess O Come All Ye Faithful is as good as anything.
Oh, Judah. Deacon Jones and choir director Louise rear naked choke this criminal as he's attacking churchgoers with the collection plate being passed for their El Salvadorian church mission. Kelly Jackson watching the program. Kelly Jackson, my wife was asking about you over the weekend. She wants to know when Dave's Hot Chicken is opening in 5th Street Station. She literally asked me, have you spoke to Kelly Jackson recently? When is Dave's Hot Chicken opening? And she cannot wait for your hot chicken place to open in the old Fuzzy's location. That's a fantastic spot for the Jackson family who knows restaurants like Judah Wickhauer knows church hymnals.
Yeah, okay.
That's a zig over there.
I haven't seen a hymnal in decades, but
Put the Dirty Aces sign back on screen. This is opening in the old Moose's location. Phil Wendell comes up twice on the show. Remember, we thought that Moose's, they were closing Moose's by the Creek. Now they've opened a fabulous restaurant, the Boy Tavern, right? Is it Boy Tavern or Shadwell's? I think Boy Tavern. A fantastic, eatery in Boy Tavern. But we speculated that Moose's was closing in large part because of the uncertainty of Phil Wendell's estate. Phil Wendell's got the hotel on Afton Mountain. He's got the Virginia Oil spot on Ivy Road. The Virginia Oil spot on Ivy Road now has a Tacos Gomez truck. If you're on that side of town, we're on that side of town. Tacos Gomez, fantastic lunch or dinner. The Phil Wendell location, or one of its real estate holdings, is now home to Dirty Aces Bar and Grill. They've released a statement on social media of what we can expect at their business. I'll read it verbatim. Dirty Aces, yesterday said, we hope to open the restaurant within the next 2 weeks and then the bar as soon as possible following all the inspections and such. We are planning pool tournaments, and I spoke briefly to a gentleman about local dart leagues for the location. These are my words. I bet you the gentleman he spoke to about the local dart leagues is Rick White, who knows beer inside and out, and Rick is a server at Selvage. They also add, Dirty Aces, that our plan is to offer a friendly, relaxed environment to enjoy a cold beer, a reasonably priced burger, and a game of pool. We hope to have local bands frequent the establishment in weeks to come. They say the waitress uniforms will be no more seductive than that allowed at any other bar or business such as Hooters. If you have any other questions or would like to speak to me directly regarding any concern, please feel free to give me a call. So those that speculated, including yours truly, and I think it was a fair speculation, when you have your signage atop your restaurant of women, buxom beauties, and bikinis, bikini-clad buxom beauties, bikini-clad blonde buxom beauties. Is there any other B's that we can get in there for the alliteration?
I'm sure there are.
Bodacious bikini-clad buxom beauties?
Blonde.
Blonde, bodacious, bikini-clad buxom beauties. Can you say that 3 times fast, Judah?
Blonde, bodacious, buxom, bikini-clad beauties.
Judah Wickower, that was so good, Judah. That's what their signage is, but he's saying it's going to be... It's going to be
like Hooters. I mean, he's not exactly easing anyone's fears about the place by mentioning Hooters.
Hooters is more tame than what some thought would be a strip club or blonde, bodacious, bikini-clad buxom beauties.
Oh,
and
definitely.
Correction, it's Phil Delaney. Thank you, Logan Wells Claydol, not Phil Wendell. Phil Delaney, the owner of the real estate on Ivy and where Moose's by the Creek was, that has passed away. Phil Wendell, the owner of ACAC, who made a boatload of money with his exit at World Strides. Go ahead, Judah.
I was just going to say that, nobody expected they were actually going to have bikini-clad waitresses.
You did not expect that? With that signage? I expected it would be a little bit more risque than Hooters.
Okay.
Would you say Hooters is risque?
I'd say it's more the implication of risque than actually being risque.
100%. Well said.
The clothing isn't exactly demure, but at the same time, they're not wearing bikinis.
The clothing of teenage girls and 20-something ladies and 30-something ladies, you would not describe in today's climate as demure, to use your words. Have you seen someone walking down the downtown mall or on Market Street or working out a gym these days? The clothing is not demure.
Right.
If they're going to work in the clothing that they work out in or walk around the downtown mall, then the signage indicates
usually quite as short as what they're wearing at Hooters.
Have you ever been to Hooters?
Yeah, a long time ago. There was one in
Savannah.
I think it was just outside Savannah in near Hilton Head.
Okay. When you have a sign like the sign they have, can you put their sign back on screen? The connotation is that it's going to be more risque than Hooters. They've now indicated that the waitress uniform is going to be that of Hooters. So I think it's one of the most anticipated openings in some time locally, not necessarily because of the menu, but because of the branding. And maybe that's the genius of the owner, that they chose signage like this to get folks talking.
Yeah.
Kelly Jackson says, this fall for Dave's Hot Chicken. It's not mine, but another local franchise that also owns the Jersey Mike's at 5th Street Station. They are a great group. I'll bring you guys a great meal when they open. Kelly, we would love some Dave's Hot Chicken, especially my wonderful wife, who has to put up with the psychosis of 3 Miller men in her home. Yours truly, a 7-year-old and a 2.5-year-old that is undoubtedly a Tommy Tornado. He just went to the dentist today, our 2.5-year-old. Was an absolute beast while the dentist was digging in his mouth for a routine checkup. Love when Kelly Jackson watches the show. All right, so that's the restaurant news. I want everyone to be successful. I swear to God, anybody that launches a business, I want to be successful. I don't care what your politics are. I don't care who you're sleeping with. I don't care what you believe, okay? As long as it's above board and not super sketchy, especially sketchiness with kids. I don't care what you do, okay? I'll support you and give you a shot if you're a locally owned and operated business. This cancel culture that's on Reddit, where they're trying to cancel businesses because of their politics, is the definition of absurdity. It's the definition of absurdity, okay? Support local owned and operated whenever you can.
I'd say it's the definition of spitefulness.
It's the definition of spitefulness, absurdity.
It's not absurd because some people may be losing their businesses because somebody disapproves of who they voted for on a ballot or what they believe politically.
Well said.
Just sad.
Well said.
If you're hating people because they think something different than you, I'm sorry, but it's just sad.
It is sad.
And spiteful.
Very good. Very good. Lead headline of today's show, what is it, Judah Wickauer? Put the lower third on screen. Let them know what the lead headline is. I would love to go to the grand opening, Kelly Jackson. We would love that. And Georgia Gilmer says the Bible Belt starts at the bottom of Virginia. Charlottesville and Albemarle County are not a part of the Bible Belt. Thank you. Thank you, Georgia Gilmer. Appreciate you, Georgia, as well. For lead headline, what do you got, Judah Wickauer?
We have money. The schools have money.
Such a short-lived story.
Yeah.
The federal administration, all the activists in this community were screaming atop Carter's Mountain saying, Donald Trump is screwing the Albemarle County Public School. Donald Trump is screwing Charlottesville Public Schools. He's withholding federal funds. Oh, that Trump. All the activists, all the Democrats, all the haters, a lot of them were saying, oh, that Trump. That was late last week. Today we wake up, that funding has been reinstated. Mm-hmm. As I said last week on the show, look beyond the headline. As the folks were screaming, oh, that Trump, and holding that federal funding, I said, look beyond the headline. We're talking $660,000 for Albemarle County.
Yeah.
Albemarle County's yearly budget is well over $200 million. We're talking $417,000 for Charlottesville Public Schools. The city budget is, what, 47, 48 million, $50 million? We're talking an absolute drop in the bucket. And 4 or 5 days later, the money is reinstated. Mm-hmm. I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I'm not a Harris supporter, a Biden supporter, a Trump supporter. I am a supporter of common sense. I vote candidates based on their platform and not their party. I vote candidates based on what they are saying and how it applies to my family, my wife and my children, our business, and our community. I don't vote by party, okay? But what I do know, and what I'm willing to do on this platform, and I think it's why you watch, is I have the courage to speak about things even if they're unpopular in our community. And the headline that broke last week was Trump administration freezing funds from Albemarle County Public Schools and Charlottesville Public Schools. I came on the show and said, ladies and gentlemen, Albemarle's budget yearly is well over $200 million, and all Trump is freezing is $666,000. I said, Charlottesville City Public School budget is tens of millions of dollars a year, and he's freezing $417,000. I said, Get a grip. And I also said he plays this game to try to negotiate for what he wants. I bet the money comes back again, and today it did. It's reality. We need to live in it.
And it wasn't even directly selecting Albemarle and CVille city schools by themselves.
There was a boatload of schools included in this. Jason Noble, his photo on screen, $284 million, Albemarle County's public school yearly budget. The biggest BS of them all, the biggest gripe you should have of all of them, Albemarle County parents, Albemarle County taxpayers, is not that the Trump administration froze $660,000 for 4 or 5 days. The biggest gripe you should have of all of them is the Albemarle County School Board gave itself a 100% plus raise in one meeting without making an announcement to the community that it was going to give itself a 100% plus raise.
Yeah.
That's the gripe you should have. A bunch of folks got together in a back room and wheeled and dealed to give themselves a 100% plus raise without giving us an opportunity to go to a public podium and say, what are you doing? No one gets a 100% plus raise. It should be staggered over years. That's the gripe you should have, and shame on the school board.
Yeah.
Next headline, Judah Wickower.
Next up, we've got impact of new UVA Prez on CVille and Central Virginia.
I sincerely want, help me answer this question. I don't have a direct answer on this. Kiana Na on I Love CVille Food says, I'm a supporter of fascism, not common sense. I don't even know what that means, Kiana Na. What does that mean? I'm a supporter of fascism, not common sense. Do you know what that means?
No idea. Is she talking about herself?
I have no idea what that means. Generally, no idea what that means, Kiana Na. I'm going to ask on a different topic, and Kiana Na, I'm open-minded to hearing your explanation. On a different topic, the president topic, what is the actual impact of this next hire on Charlottesville City, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia?
Overall, I would think very little.
That's what I want to get a feel. Why do you say very little?
I mean, it's not like a new president is all of a sudden going to initiate a pilot program. It's not like any of the
pilot program, payment in lieu of taxes program. Go ahead.
It's not like there's going to be a pause or a stop to any of the current construction projects that UVA is working on. I can't imagine there being a slew of policy shifts. I think they're liable to look for someone that can pick up the baton and keep running. And essentially, I don't know. I think they probably just want to keep the perception of everything running smoothly.
Viewers and listeners, what's your take on that? Ginny, who is watching on Twitter, she has a correction for us and the viewers and listeners, and boy, oh boy, Ginny, who is a smart person. She says, Cheeseburger in Paradise was where Outback is now, not where Mavericks or Plaza Azteca or Pierre's was. She says, it was Pargo's when I first came to Charlottesville. Mm-hmm. And she says, as someone who grew up on the coast, I've never consistently found seafood I love in CVille. Rhett's used to have some good options, but of course they are now in Zion's Crossroads. Rhett's had one of the best Cupid sandwiches I've ever had in my life.
I think she's 100% right about the difficulty in finding consistent quality. Even Red Lobster, which despite being a chain, was pretty decent.
Please never,
except for the last I'd say year or two of their existence, they really were letting it slip.
Red Lobster slightly makes me vomit in my mouth, and then I have to swallow it while doing the show. Public Fish and Oyster is the standard for seafood locally, and I think it's a gold standard. I hope Daniel Kaufman's watching the program and heard me make that comment. His seafood is always consistent, priced well. The happy hour is one of the best in town. I can't say enough about Public Fish and Oyster. In regards to Jim Ryan.
Sadly, they were never open for lunch.
Public?
Yeah.
Is Public not open for lunch over the weekend?
It's never open for lunch.
What's the earliest it opens at 3 p.m.?
4 o'clock.
Okay. I can understand why some people may have complaints with the opening time that may want to go for lunch.
I'd love to take my parents there after church, but
touche.
What are you going to do?
I would say his opening, his schedule, his hours are tied to labor and managing payroll. That's just my 2 cents, though. In regards to UVA and Jim Ryan was the 9th president at the University of Virginia. The Board of Visitors and some faculty and some other key stakeholders are looking to hire the 10th president. I continue to question why the Board of Visitors have not had in-person meetings since Jim Ryan has resigned. What the hell is going on?
Yeah.
I in particular say this knowing that the Jim Ryan position, president, is open. The provost position is open. Number 2, it's been open since February. Knowing the CEO of UVA Health is open, the dean of the medical school position is open, the CEO of the hospital is open. Position on the UVA Foundation is open, so 6 of the top 8 spots at UVA are currently vacant. It's a turnstile. Why isn't the Board of Visitors meeting? It is absolutely flabbergasting that the Board of Visitors is not met in person. It questions, I question my level of confidence in them, my level of trust in them, my level of actually carrying out a plan of emergency if they haven't had an in-person meeting.
Right.
Okay, that's my question. The topic we're covering today is what's the impact a president will have, the 10th president, the newly minted president, whenever it's named, whenever he or she is named, on Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia. That's the question we have here. I think the impact is a little more than Judah's giving, but to Judah's point, not going to have a significant impact on Albemarle, Charlottesville City, or Central Virginia. Of all the presidents we've had in this community, of all the presidents we've had at UVA, I think the president that has had the largest impact on Charlottesville City, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia is John Castine. When John Castine was the president of the University of Virginia, this institution was committed more so than ever to supporting the city, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia. No, it did not pay its fair share of taxes. The pilot program that Michael Payne's pushing, payment in lieu of taxes, is a great idea. Harvard does this with Cambridge in the Boston area. They pay taxes based on the real estate holdings they have, a lump sum. Whether it's the full amount, it's not, but it's perceived to be such a large lump sum that it's a token of good faith. UVA doesn't do this.
Yeah.
It's BS from UVA. What Jim Ryan did at UVA out of the gate was he tried to do these committees where he got community stakeholders. Mark Lorenzoni was a community stakeholder. And he got these committees where he tried to take the temperature of the community and say, what are the topics that we should be focused on with our endowment, with our money, with our fundraising, with our influence, with our efforts? Housing always comes up. Taxes always comes up. Did they do enough under Jim Ryan's watch? No. Then COVID hit, then the triple murder hit, then the UVA Health scandal hit, then the pepper spraying hit, and all these dramas hit, and they lost focus of what they were going to do well for the city, for the county, and beyond. When John Castine was president, they were committed to helping the area.
Yeah.
They were committed to using vendors in Charlottesville and Albemarle County, small businesses in Charlottesville and Albemarle County, that UVA was willing to pay a little bit above and beyond because they know those businesses were local. Now UVA, when they're sourcing subcontractors or searching for vendors to fill their supply chain, all they care is about is dollars and cents.
Yeah.
They don't care if it's a locally owned or operated business or someone from out of market, and that's bullshit.
And we've heard that from multiple sources.
We hear that all the time. We hear that all the time. A terrible example of this, no, a great example of the terrible behavior is last week when the University of Virginia had a student athlete meet and greet. And at this student athlete meet and greet, Conan Owens sent us this information last week, the owner of Sir Speedy. At this student athlete meet and greet, the athletic department was charging a $500 gatekeeper tax for small business owners to come do a meet and greet with student athletes to fill potential part-time positions or internships. When an athletic department or an institution that's so well-funded like UVA says to small business owners that are barely scraping by and trying to keep their lights on, if you want to meet our student athletes, you're going to pay us $500 to get in the door, that's extortion. That's a gatekeeper tax. And
it doesn't help the city, and it doesn't help your students.
That's bogus. It helps nobody but UVA pad their coffer.
Yeah.
That would not have happened under John Castine. Wouldn't have happened under John Castine. Now it's a nickel and dime culture. And it's not right. Neil Williamson, will UVA continue the great and good concept, affordable housing efforts? Consider the differences between Sullivan and Ryan. Here are the differences from my standpoint. Neil Williamson, his photo on screen. Terry Sullivan was an academic who got promoted to president. Jim Ryan was a politician who got promoted to president. I understand Jim Ryan was a professor. I understand Jim Ryan was an academic. I understand that Jim Ryan's got Ivy League credentials. I understand that he matriculated from the Ivy Leagues through law schools and through UVA. I get that he has academia on his resume. But when it was all said and done, Jim Ryan's best talents were fundraising, 1, politician, 2. His second best talent, politician, he did not play the game the right way and he lost. Masterful fundraiser. Masterful fundraiser. One of the best fundraisers you'll find out there. Could not play the game politics-wise and he lost. Terry Sullivan was an academic who got promoted to president, and she stayed in the background. Not a great fundraiser, not a great politician, not a great brand ambassador, not a great evangelist. She was pro-professor, pro-academia. So when she was initially fired by Helen Dragas when she was on the Board of Visitors, the developer from Virginia Beach, when she was the rector, and she Dragased Terry Sullivan, yes, I turned her last name into a verb, when she did a coup, a behind-the-scenes coup to get Terry Sullivan pink slip, the UVA faculty went to bat for Terry Sullivan and said, no, you don't do that. Yeah. And if you do that, we're all going to quit. And then UVA's got nothing. And then Terry Sullivan was reinstated, and then she did a few more years. Yeah. She was an academic, not a fundraiser, not a politician. The next president needs to be as much an academic as they need to be a business person, as they need to be a politician. This is no joke. Whoever they hire to be the 10th president, the 11th president? The 10th president. Deep thrower, I'm going to get to your comments here in a matter of minutes. The impact on zoning here in a matter of minutes. Neil Williamson says, was Castine an academic or a politician? Castine was a politician and a fundraiser. Yeah. And some of the stories, boy oh boy, we've heard on John Castine, goodness gracious, and I'll leave them in the vault. But we've heard some stories on John Castine that will surprise you, ladies and gentlemen. Surprise you from verified and vetted sources. Have we not?
We've heard some stuff.
We've heard some stuff. Georgia Gilmer, fun fact, the first seafood place in CVille was Tiffany's in the old Ivy Strip Mall, back when Charlottesville didn't have many restaurants. It lasted several decades. I believe, Georgia Gilmer, that was in the University Shopping Center. The shopping center where Papa John's Pizza is next to the car wash, right next to the Ivy Square Shopping Center. I've said on this program, one of the most valuable pieces of underdeveloped real estate in Charlottesville City is the University Shopping Center on Ivy Road, where Papa John's Pizza is, where the tennis shop is, where Tokyo Rose used to be. That University Shopping Center are office condos, and they're owned by a few people, including some by friend of the program, Hunter Craig, who's a fantastic padel player. Hunter Craig, I hope he hears that. One of the most valuable, underdeveloped piece of real estate is that University Shopping Center. And the reason more has not materialized there, or more Class A, or more opportunity or upside has not materialized in that University Shopping Center is because it's a splintered condo community. And boy, do I know about splintered condo commercial communities. The Macklin building, this building, I'm the largest owner, not majority owner, but the largest owner in this Macklin condo, commercial condo. Mm-hmm. It's tough getting stuff done in a commercial condo setup. I know firsthand. The next president of the University of Virginia is going to be a president that's going to have to be a politician, a fundraiser, an academic, while also navigating the uncertainty of the Trump administration. This is a job that is going to be brutal, and I doubt this position will be hired in 2025. Next headline, what do you got? At the 126 marker.
Next up, Advanced Mills.
I mean, this is a crazy story. Have you guys followed what's happened at Advanced Mills? Yeah. There was Mother Nature reared its influential and powerful head and destroyed a road to the Advanced Mills neighborhood. Yeah. This Advanced Mills neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen,
essentially the only road.
The only road into a neighborhood of 32 residences. Yeah. Now these 32 homes in Advanced Mills, the road got taken out by a storm. It collapsed due to high water and one of these rainstorms we've had this summer. Have we not had more summer rainstorms this summer than you've ever seen before? I mean, torrential lightning, thunder, heat storms, significant ones. Mm-hmm. One was so significant that it destroyed a road in the Advance Mill Village neighborhood where 32 homes cannot access their house. They are now having to hike through the woods or ride ATVs to get to their homes because this is the only road. They have an emergency road where they lay down a blanket and some gravel to cut through someone's actual physical property. An emergency access road.
Last I heard, the only way out was was not suitable for normal cars. Only heavier duty, like 4-wheel drive vehicles. I used to, back in the day, decades ago, used to date a girl that was born and raised in Greene County. And we'd visit Greene County from time to time to see her fabulous family. There are a couple of hollers in Greene County. Neil Williamson, what are the name of the 2 hollers in Greene County? Can you put it in the comment section? There's 2 hollers in Greene County. You know what a holler is? I guess it's like a little hollow, a little place where...
In between the mountains. This little gully in between the mountains. What are the 2 hollers in Greene County, Neil? Can you let me know in the comment section? And I had a crazy idea one time. I said, let's go into one of these hollers. And she said, are you kidding me? We're not doing that. People go into those hollers and they don't come back. I said, I want to go into these hollers. And I was able to persuade her to drive into these hollers. So we're driving like a Volkswagen Jetta into one of these hollers in the middle of the day as it's going from sun to dusk. It's about to be evening. She's driving white knuckle on the steering wheel going into these hollers in Greene County. And I said, I want to see what these hollers are about. This is when I was in my 20s and, had absolutely no fear. As we're going deeper and deeper into these Greene County hollers, Shiflett's Holler and Bacon Holler. It was Bacon Holler we went into. We went into Bacon Holler. As I'm going deeper and deeper into these hollers, it was very evident in Bacon Holler that the folks that live there never leave the holler. Like there was one way in and one way out of this holler. And eventually it started getting nightfall, and she says, I'm turning around, I don't care what you said, and did like a skid turn with the black Volkswagen Jetta and sprinted out of Bacon's Holler and literally gunned it out of there. As people were coming out of their front porch, some with shotguns in hand, just staring at us. Literally having a rifle or a shotgun, not pointed at us, but holding it, making it very clear and obvious that we were not welcome in Bacon Holler. Standing on their front porch with the shotgun as I'm looking out the window, 25-year-old Jerry staring at them, encouraging her to continue driving deeper into Bacon Holler. Finally, her cool head prevailed, and she turned the car around and gunned it out of Bacon Holler before it became nightfall. True story, hand on the Bible. Unbelievable experience, Bacon Holler. Neil Williamson says, Bacon Holler history includes great moonshine. I bet it does. I've never seen a place like Bacon Holler before. Next headline. Any more headlines on the Monday edition of the show, Judah Wickower? Yeah. That is a true story, Bacon Holler. Neil Williamson, have you ever gone deep into Bacon Holler? Or Shiflett's Holler? There's another holler out there. There's a third holler. What's the last one?
We've got zoning impacting city economy at $1 billion plus.
Okay, I'll close on this. Deep Throat's photo on screen. He has this comment. He says this: the economic impact of zoning situation really depends on how long it lasts. That's why the city should settle it. I have pretty good info that what the plaintiffs have asked for is very modest, and the city responded with an extremely nasty and peremptory response. Peremptory? Peremptory, thank you. God, Deep Throat. Peremptory response, dumb, but that's par for the course. I also do not understand his words, the city's legal strategy. There is literally no point in a motion for reconsideration, as I mentioned to you last week, other than for Gentry Lock to try to salvage its tattered reputation and for Ryan Starks to remove the sting of embarrassment. I fear that Mr. Maddox is yet another stiff in the city attorney's office. He should not be allowing Gentry Lock to pursue this self-serving strategy. Amen on the self-serving strategy. I don't get it either. Neil Williamson and I were talking on Friday in the comment section of this show that the economic impact of Charlottesville City's zoning ordinance being stuck in purgatory, or better described, quicksand, may be more than $1 billion of negative economic impact. And then I get like 36 messages from viewers and listeners in the development community over the weekend, text messages, emails, DMs, you name it. And they're like, dude, you only talked about the economic impact in Charlottesville City. You are missing the economic impact in the surrounding counties, as the labor that works on these development projects does not live in Charlottesville City. They live in the surrounding counties, including over the mountain. They said it's well over $1 billion with a B of economic impact. And they're saying the labor force, the labor pool is what's really getting hurt here. And that's the blue collar folks that can't afford to get hurt anymore.
Yeah.
Neil Williamson, Bacon Hollow history includes great moonshine. I want to know more about Bacon Hollow. James Watson loved my Bacon Hollow story. True story. Black Volkswagen Jetta. I want to go into Bacon Hollow. She said, you don't go into Bacon Hollow. She was born and raised. I somehow persuaded her. I'm a very charming individual. We went in there. We got about halfway into it. It's literally, you're going up Bacon Hollow into a mountain that winds like a snake, the road does. It's barely a road. And as I'm getting deeper into Bacon Hollow while sitting in the shotgun seat of this black Volkswagen Jetta, as she's white-knuckle driving the Jetta, I'm looking out the window, and people were literally on their front porch holding rifles and shotguns in their hands staring at us. Multiple houses, showing how unwelcomed we were to be there and how significant of an outsider they knew we were. And then eventually she said, stop it, I'm turning around, and did a skid turn, turned around, and went like 60 miles an hour down the road of Bacon Hollow and out. And she looked at me and said, never have me do that again.
I don't know if Neil has read this article, but apparently there's a Daily Progress article from April of 2021 titled a brief History of Moonshine in Greene County. And they do mention Bacon Hollow.
You should Bacon Hollow and Greene. You should seriously look into it. It is bananas. It's the place where time stopped. Time stopped at Bacon Hollow. All right, I got to get out of here. I got a 2:00 meeting. Kiana Na, I have no idea what you're saying about me and fascism. I don't understand your comments here, Kiana Na. I'll close with this. Someone needs to put a white paper, some kind of analysis. Maybe it's the Free Enterprise Forum, maybe it's Weldon Cooper, of the economic impact of this zoning purgatory quicksand. Because the folks that were communicating with me over the weekend said $1 billion, the economic impact, our estimate on Friday, mine and Neil's estimate on Friday, the folks that were communicating with me, which are the heaviest of heavy hitters in this community, said that number is extremely light. Extremely light is what they said. All right, that's it. That's the Monday edition of the show. We hope you enjoyed it. Judah Wickower, Jerry Miller, the I Love CVille show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, guys. Tell somebody about the show. We work hard for you. We don't ask for anything except for you helping us spread the gospel, please. Thank you kindly for joining us so long.